Welcome back to No Rules, Random Thoughts of a Swiftie. I'm your host, Brianna Peters. Today, I feel like I'm channeling my Reputation, Taylor's version, fit, so that way we can just make it happen and be in our lives so I can listen to these vault tracks already. Sorry, I'm feeling a little sassy about this. I just love it so much and I want it now. But before we get into what I think is going to happen and what I hope will happen and all of that, I just wanted to, first of all, just give the quick plugs. If you want to send anything into the podcast, if you want to talk about your random Taylor thoughts, if you have a theory, if you have a clowning, if you have a suspicion, I need to hear it and I can't wait to hear it. So please send those. Anything you got for me, just send those in to norulesswiftiepod@gmail.com. You can find the podcast on TikTok and Instagram under the same handle of No Rules Swiftiepod. You can find me in those places, Instagram and TikTok, at the handle at Brianna May Peters. Before we get into rep, Taylor's version, the old rep, everything that's coming up for that, I just have to take a quick pause and say thank you so much. So this is the first time that I'm back to recording since I've released. I did stock up on like the first 4 episodes. So I had just put it out in the world hoping for the best. And I have been getting such a good reception to it from everybody, but also like I'm getting a lot of feedback and interest and discussions, and your guys' comments are coming through on Instagram, on TikTok, a couple on YouTube so far, but mostly social media is doing very well. And I just have to say thank you so much. I have been responding. Of course, you get a couple rogue comments that are like, okay, it's not that serious, but that's social media for you. If you're going to put anything out into the world, expect somebody to have an interesting take on what you say. But for the most part, everybody is understanding where I'm coming from and very supportive. I just wanted to take a couple seconds in the beginning of this episode to go through some of what you guys said on here. I think everybody would really appreciate that the Swiftie community is feeling passionately in the same way. So the first thing I want to get into is episode 2, because I posted a clip from there talking about how, you know, Taylor was referencing giving her time and her energy and her youth, and she was happy to give those things in the Joe relationship. And then in So Long London, she kind of bookended that with, how dare you let me give you these things when you knew you weren't going to reciprocate, which is scathing, and I love it. And so I had posted that, and M. Morales Andrea said, I think the key part about the regrettably giving so much is in the for free. I think she was doing it happily while she thought she was getting something in return. But in the end, she got left with nothing. And that must have hurt with like 5 R's. And I agree. Thank you again for just commenting and giving your input. I 100% agree. I think in the beginning of any relationship, you're seeing where it goes. Once you get to a certain step in the relationship, I think you start thinking about the future, obviously, and what that means for you and what your hopes and dreams are. And unfortunately, if they don't align with the other person, that's when things can really start to go off the rails and you start to feel like, I am wasting my time in this situation. So yes, I think I 100% agree. In the beginning, she was more than happy to do those things, and it kind of went off the rails from there. Jax OR said she let us know she was making characters. I'm going to assume like making characters in the songs and the stories, but they were just real people. She's just made their characters in the relationship into consistent characters. And that's interesting because with Taylor's music, it's always interpretive and up to us to decide, you know, how we take these things. And like I said, whether it's 100% for real and she's, you know, saying this from like, this is exactly what happened in this situation, or she's drawing inspiration, or she comes up with a completely new narrative, a complete different storyline. I think what's great about being a Swiftie is being able to reference moments in our own lives, see our stories reflected, and that's just what makes being a Swiftie fun. So I can agree with that and see what you're saying. Over on Instagram, over on TikTok, Joanna Sosa 876 said, I gave a man 7 years of my life. Now I'm 40 and alone. You give that up freely because in your mind, the payoff is him. But when you lose the time and you lose him, it's infuriating. And I 100% agree. Memes also commented under that and said, I gave 8. And that is a very common thing, unfortunately, to happen, is that you give years. You may give your body to having children. You may give your time. You may give your friendships. You may give your family. You may give that up and move to another location for somebody. That's what I mean. Like, I think I said it in the podcast, but real life things, not even just Taylor Swift and her situation, but how her music affects us because we see our own stories played out in there. So Joanna, thank you so much for commenting. I really appreciated that and opening up, because I know that's not necessarily easy to do. For episode 1, I had posted a clip saying just things that I love about being a Swiftie and being a part of the community. And over on TikTok, Nicole Beckman Garcia said, I agree. I love, all caps, being a Swiftie. Finally getting back to the old stuff. So her other music. Listened to ATWTMV today, and it was an experience, all caps. And that made me think, I have not watched her music video for the All Too Well 10-minute Taylor's version. What a cinematic piece of gold that was. And I absolutely have to get back to that and watch that, because that's what taps into I think that she should be directing and writing full-length things from her songs, because she clearly can. Like, she took it and she made it a short story, 16 minutes. So write an hour and a half long script. I think we can handle it. Can she? Not sure. She has a lot on her plate. Not that she can't handle it. It's just that, does she have the time? Please do. So Mer20493 said, yes, OMG, this is exactly what I tell people. It's a hobby at this point. It's a way to detach from the day-to-day life. We need that. There's a lot going on. That's why your favorite artist is your favorite artist for a reason. You can see something in their music, you can relate, you like the way it sounds, you're into their brand, whatever it is, but then you can just give yourself fully to the fandom and to the excitement surrounding new releases and things happening, or the concert, whatever it is. And it just really helps you process your day-to-day life, all the stressors and all the things that come with it. And it's one of the reasons I love being a Swiftie as well. It really helps me in those moments when you need it. Oh, Nicole also commented back on Mer's post and said, free therapy with like 8 exclamation points. That too. That part. Same clip over on Instagram. Sarah Reese said, so as of July was the first time I would listen to something other than TTPD, back to reading and listening to books. So, you just make the new album your whole personality, and it's hard to get back into other things, but once you do, other things, like for me, I'm just getting back into other Taylor Swift songs. Like, I don't spend too much time listening to anybody else. So, as TTBD started to like loosen its grip from me and I could listen to other things again, it was really just Taylor. I was listening to other things. Vegan Tummy commented, every new album is my favorite. With like 8 H's. It's the best. My favorite is all of us clowning for Rep TV. The shade. I feel that. All the theories, and they all make sense to us. Yeah. Yep. I can't wait to get into that today with you guys, because oh boy. Amanda Panda 516 said, the collective group spiraling is always fun. And it really is. So thank you so much to people who have commented, those who have listened, watched the podcast. Also, don't forget to review. I feel like, unfortunately, that makes kind of a difference in how it's marketed and pushed out. And if it has high reviews, I think it goes to more people. And I would love more Swifties to know that this podcast exists. So please review on Spotify, Apple, wherever you're listening, and rate it 5 stars. Leave a comment if you like what this podcast is about. If you don't, that's fine. But Rep TV, let's get into that. So as we know, Reputation is one of my top 3 Taylor Swift albums. It's funny enough, one of the only Taylor Swift albums that I bought on Apple Music, because it was that weird period of time where I didn't have a Spotify account maybe or something. I have no idea. But when it came out, I was so obsessed with this work of art that I needed it everywhere. I needed to make sure it was on my phone, downloaded, so whenever I went anywhere, it was there with me. So that and Lemonade are like the only two albums that I have on my Apple Music. But yeah, ever since then, I get the vinyls because, I have the vinyls because I'm a full TikTok millennial girl. But Reputation was one of the few albums that I actually purchased. It is one of my top 3 Taylor Swift albums. It is so good. Every single song. It's a no skip album for me. I listened to it all the way through. I feel like it really tells the story. There's nothing quite like it. I feel like being a Swiftie, no matter when that happened for you, is amazing. You're welcomed with open arms in the whole community. It's very exciting. But if you missed Rep, I just kind of can't say it enough how bad I feel, because it was such a moment in time. The hype surrounding her and everything that was going on, the way she handled it was so beautiful. It just kind of makes you long for it again, because it's like, oh, this moment in time was so special. It was so much fun. And like I said, that's when I had fallen hard into the lore. So I watched all the YouTube videos and I just had such a good time with that album. And I loved when she put Reputation Stadium Tour on Netflix, and I watched that 100 times easily. I was not able to make it to that tour. I have not been to any Taylor Swift tour. That's a whole other story. But I remember thinking like, oh, this is such a regret of my life that I'm not going to this tour. And it really is. Like, if I could go back in time, I would make something. I would go sell blood or something to make sure I could go to that tour. But Reputation, Taylor's version, every time I go onto social media now, I'm thoroughly convinced it's happening today, tomorrow, the next day, every single day. All the dates that people give me, all the clowning that is going on, I'm fully invested. I believe everything. I can't discern what's real or not. I don't double check anybody's work. I'm just thoroughly convinced it's happening any second. And I was really, really excited for 1989 Vault Tracks, because Taylor herself was like, these are some of my favorite Vault Tracks. But can you imagine Reputation Vault Tracks? It's gonna be so good. I need it now. I'm so sorry. I'm trying to be so patient. I know all the Swiftie community is trying to be so patient and be like, we love that we got TTBD. We love that we have this time with it. I just think everybody collectively was bamboozled when she put out TTPD instead of Rep TV. I know I was. So I don't know. I'm really, really looking forward to the Vault Tracks. I think along with all of the re-recordings, one of my biggest things is that I'm just excited to support her in this endeavor. If you want to purchase, I know I will be purchasing the vinyls. I know I'll be only streaming those songs. I think it's really important when she's done. I've said it before, and I will probably continue to say it just because I don't know that people understand the serious undertaking that these projects and re-recordings are. And so I'm really excited to support it when it comes out, support her, integrate the new versions into everything that I do and all my songs and all my playlists. And yeah, I'm really, 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 really excited for the Vault Tracks. I've never done a reaction before. Maybe since I'm doing this podcast now, I'll try. I will be honest, like the way I listen to Taylor for the first time when I'm hearing something new is so encompassing. I'm so paying attention to the lyrics and the music. I don't know how great of content it will be, but it is something I would be willing to do, I think, if anybody was interested in seeing that. But yes, Rep TV, can't wait. When do you think Rep TV is dropping? I've stopped guessing. Like, I don't know what this woman's plan is. I just follow her around and hope for the best and hope that it's soon. And I think everybody else is convincing me that every single Eras tour, every single night's performance is going to be the one. And as much as I love the clowning and like going along with everything, honestly, I think at this point, I'm going to take a step back and just appreciate the surprise when it happens, because many months have gone by of this always being the night and everybody being like, I totally found it. And I support their clowning. I think I will be taking a step back and just waiting for when Mother decides it's time and supporting her then. But I have to know, what songs do you think the vault tracks are going to be about? What are you hoping for? What are you excited about? I don't know. I hope there's a music video. That's what I'm hoping for, because for the re-releases, there's been several music videos to go along with them. So I am super... sorry. I also thought, like, could anybody be collaborating on this? Actually, wait, I haven't even thought about that. I don't think so. Because this whole album was about her reclaiming herself and her narrative and her journey. But she did have Endgame, so with Future, and why? Ed Sheeran. Oh my God, I couldn't remember his name. I was going to say the redhead. How rude. Anyway, she did have a collaboration. But yeah, I wonder if there would be any more in the vault tracks, or if she's just made these songs on her own and she's going to put them out on her own. I don't know. I'm so excited. I can't wait. Anyways, soon, hopefully, let's all cross our fingers. Until then, please let me know what you think. Email me, talk to me on socials, whatever you got. Thank you so much for being a part of the community I'm starting to create here. And thank you so much for receiving this podcast in such a great way. It makes me super happy and very excited. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.